Back out in the workshop again tonight, getting ready for next Tuesday's trip on the river. And last night I got to play around with my my new wutz mold, and I made some really beautiful lures here. This one's pretty translucent. Put some eyeballs on there. That's gonna be a really nice looking bait. I went ahead and I got the laminating plate so that I can make it two-tone. That's just a flat surface that you put on there, and I'll go ahead and clamp it on there. The top layer you do first, and all this is a collection of, you know, retread, and I put a little bit of the fresh plastisol in there as well. That'll be my top layer. Looks like I got a little purple and green and a little bit of everything in there. The bottom layer is this pearl. It's mostly pearl. I got a little bit of black fleck in there, and of course I put the scent in there, the upper hand scent, hog sauce. Sounds good. All right, so that's cooled just a little bit, enough that it's, when you take the clamps off here, it's not gonna come flopping out. Hopefully we have we got the backs of these minnows in there. I'm just pulling this plug out, but I'm leaving the that counter shaded, that top down view, that darker part of the minnow in there. And we'll go ahead and close that up, clamp it again, have a real nice looking minnow by the time we're done. Now, the premise behind a laminate is counter shading, really. And if you look at any minnow, it's going to have a whiter bottom, a lighter bottom, then the top is going to be darker. And the reason for that in nature is really to hide the animal, whether it's a frog, a duck, a minnow, whatever it is. It's going to have a white or light belly, and that's so that if things that are underneath it are looking up at it, it blends in with the sky. And things that are looking down on it with a dark back, like the frog is green, like wherever it's hanging out, the same way that the minnow is going to have that kind of greeny brown look at the bottom. So that's kind of what I got here, what I'm starting with. Alright, let's see how these did. Beautiful. We'll get some some eyeballs on these guys. Yep, that's gonna catch some smallmouth. Now, I crazy glued these eyes on there, but there's another way to do that. And you just use the regular adhesive of the eyes and leave them on there, and you dip them in some plastisol that's for the most part clear. That gives it a very thin, or you can use it absolutely clear, but it gives it a very thin layer that encapsulates that eyeball in there perfectly. I had to jump up to a quarter ounce. I had been, oh, he's nice, using an 1/8 ounce dragon head with this setup, but it wasn't doing it because of all the wind and the current is basically causing the line to make a big S shape. And any bow in the line is a bad thing. You're not going to be able to feel those bites as well. This is what I'm using today. It's I'm actually auditioning flukes, fluke style bodies for confidence baits, but I got that on a you know, that's a 1/4 ounce dragon head as opposed to the 1/8, with all this wind and current, you know, on the backside of this ledge system. So Second nice fish from that spot. Just letting these things sit. You know, I guess the current's pulling it down and they're tumbling a little bit, but otherwise, you know, it's a dead stick presentation.
Swim bait. After the wind was blowing around my 1/8 ounce, Jeff had caught 5 fish earlier on, and my bait was blowing over top of the rocks. I couldn't feel any of the bites. So hopefully in the mix a little better now. This is a prototype bait that Jeff Little's been pouring. Right now it's rigged on a 1/4 ounce dragon head, and the reason that we put it on the 1/4 ounce instead of the 1/8 is because it's very windy out here today, and we weren't able to feel the bottom on the 1/8 ounce head. So far it's been working out really well. I think we have 7 or 8 fish on it so far, and it's still early.
All right, keep getting some nice fish on this new jerk bait. That one's a beauty. The mold that I made this with is from Do It Soft Baits, and it's called a wutz it. That's a 5-inch wutz it. Your basic soft plastic jerk bait, and I got it rigged on that 1/4 ounce dragon head. And I did the laminate plate, which let me do 2 different colors there, and then I just crazy glued some eyes on there. The first one of these that I used caught 8 fish and was still in good shape before I had to swap it out. So it's a very durable, you know, I'm pretty pleased with the design. So we're probably going to be making this a Confidence Baits product, but if you wanted to get going making your own mold, making your own 5-inch wutz it, just go to Do It Molds, Do It Soft Baits, and get a mold and start shooting your own. It's a pretty good little bait.